Hi, so my name is Ivan and I'm a college student. And a year ago, I had web dev class. And one major requirement for this web dev class was the full stack web application. It was like 40% of our grade. And yeah, so I'm excited. So me and my team, like since we're college students, we cram everything until the final week. So anyway, yeah. So in the final week, we developed the front end, like we were cramming, there were spines coming up, but luckily, we were almost done until the last part, which is the deployment. How do you get it? How do you put this out there to the internet so that our prof can access this? So in 8 hours, 8 hours till the deadline, we had the task of how do you learn and deploy in 8 hours? Like, so we searched Google for answers. Next slide. The first thing we looked at was AWS, GCP, and Azure because it's quite popular. Like we look at the documents for the platform for AWS, and it's good. It's cheap, versatile, and reliable. But it's so hard like to configure because we didn't have any experience about AWS, and you need like certificates to operate that thing. There are jobs for that. So we went on we continue exploring. And then there's Firebase, Supabase, and Vercel. It's good, but you still have to read the docs and build around the platform. And then, so we went back to AWS. So we looked at the docs. We spent 6 hours figuring out how it works. And we were about to cry because I feel like we were gonna fail because we were not gonna finish it. And then a friend will recommend the render. Like it renders perfect. Kasi it took us like 10 minutes to read the docs. Like we deployed it and like we successfully managed to publish it before the deadline. It's good for hobbyists, but the problem is it's super expensive. It's like 4 times the cost of an AWS instance, and it's good for hobbyists, but it's just not good for when you want to deploy and scale. So but luckily we passed like a course there, right? So luckily for the next slide. So but our group, we thought that there should be an easier way to do this, right? Like a better way to deploy, especially if you don't want to learn how to do DevOps. Because from my perspective, it's like I just want to get it out there. That's the main idea. So there should be a tool for normal people to build something, to deploy something. And after 1 year experience in web dev, like I know a lot more about web dev, but I'm still confused about DevOps. There's so many things out there, like there's so many products, like it's just so convoluted. And all of the people on Reddit share the same sentiment as us. Like there are a lot of articles in the DevOps subreddit. Like, are you here to working DevOps job? It's hard. Talks about DevOps journey so far. And yeah, a lot of people share the same problem as us. That's why we created MonkeyOps. We want to deploy apps blazingly fast using AI. So next slide. For the demos.
Okay, so we'll show you how our solution works. Basically, the value proposition is to deploy apps in one click, or basically no clicks at all, since we now have generative AI. Let's use LLMs to give you what you want to do. So more specifically, just give it your project. So whether that's a GitHub URL or some directory locally, and then it gives you everything. So usually the steps will be like generating your config for AWS, then setting up the cloud instances, and then building and running, for example, your Docker image. And then after that, here is an example of your actual instance on the cloud. So you don't even need to know AWS at all. You don't need to read any docs. It just gives you what you need to deploy. So as an example, we took any random third-party app. So we found one on GitHub, which is just a Q&A app with Gemini. Then we used MonkeyOps, and then we were able to deploy it with the commands on AWS. Yep. So to show a bit of that. Oh, okay. So again, just to show, we just took some random project on GitHub just to show that any project should be able to use Lightning. There. So again, this is just a PDF Q&A with Gemini. And then here is MonkeyOps. So we can give your GitHub link. For the sake of this demo, we pre-populated the fields for the sake of time. So you can specify like Docker image, ports, use cases, and if you have preferences for like the workload priority. So this is like cloud setup and so on. Then it will give you the commands that you need to execute. So to show the components underneath, here is the Streamlit components underneath. So for example, this one, the system prompt is like give the AWS commands to provision like the EC2 instances. For example, if it's T2 micro, the ports you need, storage, and it will actually give you the AWS commands that you can execute on the command line. So for example, even steps like creating the key security pairs, and then running the EC2 instances, and so on. And then after that, the other one is for doing pulling and executing the Docker images. So for example, in this case, it will pull the Docker image which we hosted. Then if you specify the ports, it's able to give you the correct instruction. Okay, so we actually executed those commands and we're able to host it on EC2. So this is already your external IP address. So this is on EC2 on AWS. So just to complete the demo, so this is the third-party demo. Give it your paper. Then if you ask it, then it gives you the answer. So it was able to summarize the paper that was uploaded. Okay, then so yep. Then I think we also have like you have it there. Yeah, it's sharing that structure.
Yeah, so what the output from the commands we can be like on our web app is something like this. So after you're going through the form, you get to a graph view like this. Yeah, and so on the right here, we have the commands. So we have the few stages of deployment, but right now we made a rough mock-up for the front end, so we just use that. But we have AWS deployment instructions. We also generated a description, so if we're not technical users, they will know what each command will be doing, but it's transparent basically. Yeah, and so the prompt here is for non-technical users, they will read through the description. For more technical users, they can figure out what's going on underneath. And on the right, we have on the logic end is the graph. So this represents like the infrastructure. It's a snapshot of the infrastructure as it's deployed. So you can see like Docker image here, EC2 instance here. This is GPU generated, but it's accurate with what we're deploying. The instructions on the left. And yeah, so one thing we want to do, like a future step, is to be able to edit the infrastructure of DevOps infrastructure through this graphical description. So you have add one here, and then you can already add an instance that supports your Docker image, where you can have a scale-up option. There are many different connections to this Docker image. For some generations that are more verbose, you would see something like this, where if you prompt it to have networking configurations and a security group would have like different components to it, and you would see how it all exists. So yeah.
So back to the rest of the presentation. What's up? Okay.
Part B. Okay. So thank you for that, JD. So for the bigger picture of about the product. So, but before that, I'm gonna tell you about this side unit. So there's our competitive advantage compared to our competitors. Our competitive advantage is, well, first is it's platform agnostic. Like we can host on AWS, GCP, or Azure. We don't care. We just wanna provide you with a clean UI to interface those platforms. Second is beginner friendly. Like I think our UI is very beginner friendly. And the next for the business model, we really like ourselves business model because the core of our business. Like we want to help hobbies at the end of the day. Like we just want to make their lives easier. We just want to like, like, let them deploy something in just one day. That's the core. That's the core of our business. So it's gonna change, obviously. Business model it's gonna change depending on the customer reaction and data. But we really like Versal's business model because they can keep their free tier version. Their free tier version is the last tier for their subscription model, and their pro version is $12 per month. Is their game leader for their subscription model. I think this model it can change again. I think this model is key to making our services free for pro college students or for indie hackers. So next, there's the total addressable market. So for the DevOps market revenue, it's around $9.3 billion in $9.3 billion in 2023. But I see we don't want to limit ourselves to that market. We want to expand and move towards the broader cloud infrastructure market, which has $300 billion in revenue in 2020. So that's it for the business side. So long-term plans. So for long-term plans of the business, have you guys seen yung infamous video made by Jensen Huang? This video. Can you is there audio? Okay, can you play? Can you start? Okay, so have you seen this video? Okay.
Did you share audio?
I think it's good. I think that's okay. There's captions. This video is really infamous for CS college students like me because do I pursue CS or no? Like he's telling that it's gonna be obsolete in the future. Like that quote from Jensen Huang is really grim. But thinking about our project, like building through it since happened, I realized that I think this is really the future. Like I can go to the next slide. Like this is really the future. Instead of learning about those stuff, you just use AI to interpret normal text and translate that to code. Because if you just want to ship, you just want to build a product, then why do you need to learn all those stuff? That's my perspective. Like, why do I need to learn back end? I just want to ship it out so that other people can use it. So that idea, like removing code from our current infrastructure right now, is a really difficult project. And it's a really difficult problem, but our plan is to start small, like by solving the a web app project in 10 minutes, or how to deploy if you don't know how to DevOps problem. You want to solve small problems first, and then start small, and then go from there. Like just like how Facebook was created for Harvard students to stop one another. Now it's a big black hole for your time. So yeah, we want to start small. And next slide. So why us? We believe that we're the right team for this problem because we have the credit. I think we have the credentials. For example, Kyrie Nelson is an AI developer at Ask, and JD Dantes is a computer vision engineer at Stratford. We have the knowledge to do this, to pursue this problem. And yeah, thank you for listening. And Monkey Ops develop apps blazingly fast.
Right, 5 minutes Q&A.
Yeah, of course. So, many we showed the demo. Actually, just saw the stats, right?
Yeah.
But as it is right now, is it able to just give the link and it does everything from the link to deployment or not? Because my answer is that my next question is going to answer that.
Yeah, right now, mostly yung stats na lang. So the exact stats which we put in sa terminal, the division is really yung editor siya, na drag and drop.
if you give it permission.
Siya na bahala next time.
Okay, so mainly the POC right now is basically the steps that needs to be taken.
That recommends this.
Okay, so my next follow-up question to that one is, how do you ensure that the flakiness and accuracy of those steps are going to be correct in terms of like the whole of deploying an application?
Right. So our generative side has like entry-level assertion. Like aside from having it generate commands, we also have it generate like specific instance names. So the intuition there is we have to create, for example, the command is have it create EC2 private key, and we have it say output the private key as well. The intuition there is we have the private key stored, and then whenever we say new command that involves a private key, we can like look up the private key value and input it back. So there's like one thing is like loading the same instance, right? It's hallucinating the file name. Another thing is that you would want the instructions themselves to be right. We have a control loop in our backend, and what it does is if it has like the thought behind it is if it sees the terminal output and then it has an error, it will self-trouble. So we would take the input from the terminal output, plug it in back to the model, say we encountered an error, here's the error message. Like how do we troubleshoot? But right now, we run our backend with the assumption that everything goes right. So the test outputs that we use for the test outputs, if everything goes right.
Okay. In that sense, what's gonna be the differentiator with just people, let's say, generating an infra code kind of stuff? Like right now, you already have like stuff, Terraform, right?
Yeah.
Basically, the whole thing is there. Just need to run the Terraform stuff on the platform provider that you want. So what's going to be the differentiator from there?
Yeah, so some things we value are the ability to customize your infrastructure, so the ability to scale it up. Because we find that a lot of these built-in providers have like a tiered list of like progression. What we want to do is for you to be able to go and like an EC2 instance, we have an EC2 instance, or for proxies, you practically use the same like interface, just drag a proxy and then you already have a proxy associated with it. It's like, our advantage with managed instances is that we have a lot more customizability. We can do a lot more things with that, and a lot of these things are visual, so they even apply to this.
Okay, last thing. So, you have right now, when you go to different GitHub repositories, the deployable ones at least, you'll see buttons, right? Like deploy to DigitalOcean, deploy to Heroku, deploy to Vercel. One click, you get the application up and running. So what's going to be the difference between that and this one?
Yeah, our plan is to be production ready. So when you click deploy, what happens there is they set up a test instance, like a small CPU that you can try out the program. But with our infrastructure, our solution, what we want is for you to be able to plug in like your reference image. Like maybe I want a vector database. I plug in the vector database thing, I click deploy, and then I already have the vector database instance set up. If I want to scale it for more data, I can just say add more data. It scales up. If I want to connect to another instance which you can query, we can set that up as well on the platform. Yeah, very good.
Okay, yeah, I like the premise of the idea. Just that right now, at the current state of the POC, you cannot see it like the capability of from idea to actually making it possible. So if I think it could have been like a lot like better if you can have proved that from that single URL, it just basically does its thing and deploy. But right now, as it is, I'm gonna take it as one example. But I like the premise of the idea.
Yeah, you're just working on a couple of things up right. So it was like 2 hours. Yeah, very much appreciated. Thank you so for this.
Thank you.